Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to JSR, and we have reached a huge moment in this championship. After the round of chaos, we now head into a very different challenge. Last week we were at Kota, and this week we're at the Hungary in Hungary. And tonight is the first half of a crucial doubleheader with Australia waiting for us around the corner afterwards, down under. And with just 5 races remaining, Sasha Hood arrives with a staggering 216 points, 91 clear of Stevan and 92 ahead of Ryan Benink. Sorry about that, I almost lost my breath there, but the championship is firmly in his hands, and there is still plenty of racing left to be done, and there's a lot of things that Sasha needs to do to wrap up this championship potentially here at the Hungarian/Australian Grand Prix. Hungary, as we now head into the session, is one of those circuits where raw speed alone simply isn't enough. This Hungarian is 4.3 kilometers long, and it is 14 corners and a full length distance of 35 laps around a tight and incredibly technical layout. It's got a karting style circuit because there are very few proper straights with corners constantly feeding into another one. Especially the first and the second sector, this track is going to be a challenge for those people trying to keep it within the white lines and also trying to regulate the tyre temperatures as well. And that's what makes qualifying absolutely crucial. But there is no qualifying tonight. It is the race. I think it is in reverse championship order. So this is going to be a pretty interesting spectacle at the Hungarian Grand Prix and also in Australia too. And the circuit first opened in 1986 when Nelson Piquet won the first race here, and Lewis Hamilton holds the records for the most wins around here at the Hungarian with 8 wins and pole positions with 9. And this circuit has also produced some memorable first victories, including Fernando Alonso, Jenson Button, and guess what, Nick? Esteban Ocon won here in 2021. But the race here is about to begin very shortly. We are underway for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Miles Marquez versus Robbie Jacobs. Across the line they go as we make the way down towards turn 1. Robbie on the inside of Miles as we now approach the braking zone. Towards turn 1 we go. Is there going to be contact? No. Miles Marquez goes around the outside and he claims the lead of the race. I thought Robbie Jacobs would try and settle the inside, but Miles Marquez has him covered. As further back in the background, we've got Mummy Nick versus Dex Blythe there going wheel to wheel through turn 2 and turn 3. That battle ends with Dex in 4th place ahead of Mummy Nick then. And where is the rest of the guys? Crucially, somebody has taken out the meter board there, or the advertising board, because I think that's been wiped out completely. Red Joke around the outside, and Ralph is losing places here. You can see him underwhelmed, or overwhelmed, I must say, by Ryan Benink, who's gone through as well. So Ralph has lost 2 places in one corner. There's guys in the background there too. Where is Sasha? I'm trying to find him. Is he here tonight? Sasha is... Oh, he's not here. I don't think Sasha is here tonight, so I'm not quite sure why. But as we see then, the guys up the field we go. And we've got just Hood in at 10th place there, ahead of his teammate Stevan, and down the inside goes a Red Bull who's out of control, and that is Van Joke and Mummy Nick. And once again, it's an aggressive move from Van Joke, I believe, on Mummy Nick, and I think those two there, fallen by the wayside, have fallen backwards. Milan Lango now goes up into P7, but Miles Mackey still leads this race. He picked up a podium here, not here, but he picked up a podium last season. And let's see how his progress unravels in this race, because he has been struggling and he has lost his faith in this game, but he's leading for the time being ahead of Robbie Jacobs as Van Joke and Milan, 2 former rivals, go wheel to wheel towards turn 1, and sees just Hood side by side with the Haas driver. That is Sasha. Sorry, I forgot Sasha and just Hood. I was trying to find the name Sasha in the order, not just Hood. So my apologies there. There's contact between Milan and Sasha there. So both getting their elbows out. And Sasha needs a clean race to finish ahead of Stevan by over 10 points if he wants to win this championship here at the Australian and Hungarian Grand Prix. And Sasha doesn't overtake Milan and Langer, so stays in P8. But Ralph is languishing outside the overtake mode. We've seen him get swallowed up, but he's gained those 2 places back immediately because we saw the likes of Ed Joke and Mummy Nick, who made contact into turn at number 11, and that has cost him dearly and ultimately paid the price and fallen backwards down the order too, for good measure, as Ralph there, who lost 2 places, immediately gains them. Watching those two as we see off the track goes Ralph again, so he's struggling here at the Hungarian, and here comes Sasha on the inside of Milan through the left-hander and gets himself up into P6. That was a neat move there, but the chase is on now. towards the front of the cars. A gaggle of cars fighting for first place, and this is Ryan Benning on the attacker decks. On the inside towards Turn 1, late on the brakes there, claims the apex, and does he get the traction he needs out of Turn 1 to stay there? Yes, he does. Moves up into P4 then, so that was a decent move there for Ryan Benning, as he's now chasing his teammates of Hudson and Cass in the other Cadillac, the defending champion of JSR last season. But it's very, very unlikely or impossible for him to win the championship this season. He is so far behind after picking a plethora of bad results this far in the season. Fireblaze and Ralph there bagging wheels as we now make our way towards Turn 4. Fireblaze on the outside. Should he get the move done? Oh, there's contact. Oh, Fireblaze once again in a spin. You must feel sorry for the Dutchman at this point, because he was in a spin last week at the US Grand Prix in Kota. And once again, the Dutchman finds himself tumbling down the order, and he will not be a happy Dutchman indeed. So Ralph there getting himself in a bit of bother, who is being pushed down the order dramatically left, right, centre, has now found himself languishing outside of the top 10. Let me get the full track map up. There we go. I didn't get my bearings up. So there is the tyre compound. Sem on the soft compound tyres, which is quite strange, but bearing in mind though, nothing to lose at the back of the field. Might as well go for an aggressive strategy. He's gained 5 places there, or 2 on the soft compound tyres. Kick, Veg Joke in a heated battle for P8 there. The Dutchman's going nose to tail. Headed down towards Turn 1 we go then. Let's see if the Red Bull can make his way past. Yes, he does, on the inside towards Turn 1. Veg Joke, that's Milan to close the door. But Veg Joke goes through, and now Kick is side by side with the Red Bull driver of Veg Joke. And Kick will try and go all the way around the outside. This is super close. Nothing separated between the two. And Kick muscles me up into P7. That was a lovely move there from Kick. And now gets ahead of the 7-time champion of Veg Joke indeed then. Things may start to settle down in this race. And Miles Marquez still controls this race ahead of Robbie Jacobs with Hatakas in P3 on the charge and looking to progress. But Ryan Benning, look at the places he made. Hatakas is struggling with the car in the middle sector. That puts Ryan Benning all over his tail. Are these two going to work together? Yes. Ryan Benning goes up into P3 and he's gained 8 places. What a mega start from Sasha and Ryan Benning, crucially for the championship. Sasha, on the other hand, in P6 has got a lot of work to do in this championship to claw his way back towards the front. And Ryan Benning sitting pretty in P3 so far in this race, hunted down Robbie Jacobs and also Miles Marquez. Robbie Jacobs and Ryan Benning, of course, 2 close friends, both in QDR. And here comes the Audi on the inside towards Turn 1. That is Sasha, a late move. Daniel Ricciardo type move there in towards Turn 1. I love seeing moves on the inside towards Turn 1 because you've got to be very late on the brakes indeed, catch your other rivals off charge, as we saw Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton make contact in 2024 when those two came to blows. And I think Verstappen there paying the price for that one, and Hamilton still on the podium when it was a McLaren 1-2. Oscar Piastri as well, his first win. No? Yes? Let me get this right. I think Oscar Piastri scored his first win here for McLaren in 2024, if I'm not mistaken. It was an underwhelming victory because the spotlight was pretty much on the team order controversy, not Oscar Piastri's performance there. But both McLarens had to swap places. I don't even know who won last year in 2025. My memory is so foggy, you know. When it comes to like races from 10, 20, 30 years ago, I remember. But when it comes to races like a year ago, I can't. I honestly don't know who won the race last season in F1. Was it Lando Norris? Oh my God, my memory is so bad. It's unbelievable. I'm actually pinching myself. I'm not pinching myself, but I mean, I'm so furious that I don't actually know who won last year in F1. Was it Verstappen? Do you know what? I might actually have to search this up, you know. And Sasha on the inside towards Turn 1. And once again, it's a late send. And he's side by side at the corner with Hatakas. Hatakas on defensive. But can he keep him at bay? Let's see. Headed down towards Turn 2. They bang and touch wheels there. But Sasha with better movement on the outside has the inside line for Turn 3 and gets that place. What a move from Sasha. Both men are making such good progress in this race. All right, let me search up who won the race last year in Hungary. Let me have a look. Yeah, it was Norris, Piastri, Russell, Leclerc, Alonso. Oh, yes, I remember that race now. I do remember that race. Verstappen had a terrible race, wasn't it? And Bortoletto finished in P6 with Alonso P5. Yep, I remember it now. In fact, I don't really remember it, but it could have been a boring race, you know. I have no idea. Right, let me get my bearings up again because I am getting sidetracked here, just trying to figure out where everything is. I've not even got the map up either. That's how much I'm behind. But yeah, like I said, my memory's so... Oh, who's that? Oh, he saved the car beautifully. Was that Ryan Benink there, all out of shape? At the exit there of turn 13, the final corner now towards 40 we go. We saw Sebastian Vettel spin there and Perez, but Perez suffered a massive crash and Sebastian Vettel did a full 360, but Rosberg was in the pits at the time. And it was Ricciardo who won the race here in 2014, wasn't it, in the Red Bull? Miles Marquez still leads. And Miles Marquez is doing a solid job so far, holding his own in first place. I thought he was going to get swallowed up by the guys behind, but nope, he's managing the pace out in front, keeping Robbie Jacobs and Ryan Benink intact. But I dare say he'll become under massive pressure because these two have got a lot of experience in JSR and in League Racer 2. Miles Marquez took a bit of a sabbatical, didn't he, after struggling on this game. He announced that he took a little bit of a break, but on his return here to JSR, a respectable job. I think his last podium was back in Qatar when it was him, Kick and Eric all squabbling for first, second, third place as well. So Miles Marquez has had a bit of time off due to his misfortunes in the last few races, but he's back and doing a mega job is the Dutchman here tonight in JSR. But he's got a lot of work to do, a lot of defending, and that is a Haas of Bummer Nick who's gone for a spin in the middle sector. What a shame. Bummer Nick there falling backwards and now got MVD. Marciano right behind him, the usual Div 2 driver. And we now make our way towards the final corner with Miles Marquez still leading ahead of Robbie Jacobs, and Ryan Benink is super close to comfort. Too close for comfort indeed, headed down towards turn 1. Is anybody feeling brave on the brakes? Yes, they are. Oh, contact towards turn 1. Robbie Jacobs and Ryan Benink there came to blows. I think Ryan Benink was responding to Sasha because Sasha forced him on the inside, and now the bagging wheels towards turn 2. Ryan's gone wide. Can Sasha get it under and over? The answer is almost. Yes or no? Yes. Sasha moves up into P3 ahead of Ryan Benink. He forced the pressure and Ryan Benink had no response. Sasha is sawing his way, chomping at the bit here to get past these drivers. He's doing an incredible job, isn't he? Decisive, brave on the brakes, and punchy too, and making moves left, right, centre, getting his places one by one. You know, picking his rivals off and making clean overtakes, just to be wheel baggy, but rubbing his race, as they say, nothing more than that. He's not really, every time he dives, he doesn't make contact with people. It's just, you know, when you go side by side, there's guaranteed rubbing or something like that. But Robbie Jacobs there, a bit twitchy out turn 12, and we're going to see Sasha on the move again. There's a bit of a continual effect in towards turn 13. There's a racing bull in the background. He's lost his wing as well. That could have been Sem. But Robbie Jacobs is in the pit lane. The chain reaction, the undercuts, the pit stops will begin to start very shortly, and it is now. Will Ryan fancy a move and mirror what Sasha did in turn 1 last time out? The answer is no then. So Robbie Jacobs has pitted onto a new set of the hard compound tyres, and he should rejoin in clean air. Hopefully there's two cars approaching the start-finish straight. So he's rejoining clean air, and hopefully can utilise these tyres to good effect and bring that gap down. He wants to do the undercut on Miles Marquez, doesn't he, and try and take the lead that way, whilst these guys just prolonging their first stint on the medium compound tyres. But I dare say pit stops will be imminent very shortly in this race too. You know, some people like to go longer medium compound tyres there to reduce the stint of the hard compound tyres and have a much better tyre offset towards the end of the race to try and hunt their rivals down. A tyre offset I've seen in the past has been absolutely efficient from these drivers as Fireblaze gets past with Ralph. Those two made contact, didn't they, in turn 5 or 6 if I'm not mistaken, and this time Fireblaze gets ahead with no trouble at all as Hudson Cass is dropping backwards there, and in the gravel he went. There's a gravel chop on the outside in real life, but not in this game. And in the pit lane is Miles Marquez then to switch to the hard compound tyres and trying to protect his ass, because we can see that Robbie Jacobs has pitted onto a new set of hard compound tyres. The problem is for Robbie Jacobs, he's caught up to Marciano and he's overtaken him too. How long did he spend behind the Ferrari driver? Caught him in a very sketchy place indeed, but luckily got past him. It is so pivotal now to get past the Aston Martin. Let's see how he does it with the straight mode, the battery, and where is Miles Marquez going to feed in? Here comes Robbie Jacobs on the brakes towards turn 1. That's a late send. Does he make the apex? No, he goes wide, but should overtake. Hello, yes sir. Younger. Nice to see you in the chat, mate. Of course, APS Shell F3 commentator. A very good commentator indeed. I wish you were alongside me, mate, because it would have been an absolute thriller to have you alongside me. I love your insights, I love your commentary, and it was always nice to have you alongside me too. The situation is the top four haven't pitted just yet, but they will do very, very shortly. I presume going for the better ties towards the end, have that offset and bring the gap down and chase the guys behind as well. Miles Mackis now, a bit of a twitch and out of shape there. And Sasha has dropped Ryan Benning, so Sasha is starting to good in a way and clear off into the sunset and leave Ryan Benning behind. And here comes Miles Mackis to the inside. That's a neat move, as Bowser gets a 3-second time penalty for his dribbles. But Sasha, Ryan Benning and Dex are in the pit lane. As Jester says, he's doing fine, mate. Yep, good job, mate. Well, not good job, but yeah, I'm glad you're doing fine, mate. And hopefully you'll be back in the commentary box soon. Very, very shortly. And I know are you on holiday right now? So Miles Mackis there, the former race leader. Will he claim the lead once again? In the background, we can see a battle going on. But where is Sasha? Here he comes. The pit lane. It's an overcut. An overcut has been successful. He's ahead of Miles Mackis there. And that is going to be setting the tone for the rest of the race now, because Miles Mackis on older tyres. Yes, 2 laps difference makes a big difference indeed. And now Sasha has got track position, and that's going to be very, very handy indeed towards the end of this race. Yes, I am. Next week I'll be back. Wherever you are on holiday, mate, hopefully you're having an amazing time and enjoying the sun, enjoying the views, enjoying the ladies as well, if you are interested in that. But yes, Miles Mackis has rejoined behind Sasha, and Sasha is 1.1 behind Robbie Jacobs. That has played beautifully into the hands of Sasha too, because not only he's got fresher tyres, but he's also on the back of Robbie Jacobs too. Robbie Jacobs, of course, did the undercut because he pitted 2 laps before Sasha, but Sasha immediately behind him, and that's going to be bad news for Robbie Jacobs for the rest of this race. He has to look behind his shoulders now. Hasn't got the gap he wanted, but he's stuck in traffic, has not helped him whatsoever in this race. It's been a bit of a detriment for his race, being stuck in traffic, while Sasha on the other hand has got the momentum in his way. The pendulum has pretty much swung towards his way as Ryan Benning has crashed in the final corner. Poor Ryan Benning. Where is that? Fireblaze is making his way towards the pit lane. Let's have a look. The safety car is behind him. Oh my goodness me. I thought the safety car would rejoin. Miles, don't hit the safety car. I thought that the safety car came out and these guys had to wait behind it. Imagine that. Ralph would have been... just imagine the scenes if Robbie, Sasha and Miles Mackis were behind the safety car, because they can't overtake, and Ralph would build the gap and go to the mini car parts. Obviously, he's going to pit because it's a no-brainer, but he's still got to take those tyres a bit of a distance on the mini car tyres. Yes, they will make it towards the end, but they'll drop off significantly indeed. You are in Germany, says yes, sir. Hopefully you're having a good time there. Not incredibly sunny here in Germany, but still enjoying it. Good, that's what we like to hear. I want to go to Germany soon. Berlin, I also want to go to the racetracks in the Nürburgring too. I think Germany would be a good place to go to. It's actually helped Ralph too, because he could pit and rejoin behind, I think, Dex in P10 on the new set of the mini-car part tyres. The safety car ideally like 14-15, yes, he would have liked, but nevertheless, he will lose not so much time from the guys on the hardcore part tyres there, so he will pit off those hardcore part tyres and put on a set of the mini-car part tyres, whilst these guys will go through and take their original spots. Don't forget too, we have one more race after Hungary, which is the Australian Grand Prix, so we're going down under, and that hopefully puts on some good action too. So Robbie Jacobs is leading ahead of Sasha, and let's give respect and credibility to this man. Made up 11 places from P13 to P2. What a job, what a stint from Sasha, and it's only lap 13 as well. Lap 13 out of 25 is made up 11 places, almost one driver per lap. There has Sasha. This is why Sasha, it could be shifted towards a champion, no doubt, towards the end of these two races, or probably Zeinbort in the next race as well. Sasha will be becoming a champion very, very soon. I still need to watch out for the points, because Sasha could be champion after these two races, depending where Sasha Stayman finishes, and also Ryan Benning too. Well, Ryan Benning is out, so I think Sasha is safe from Ryan Benning for the time being. Ryan Benning, though, will be watching this race alongside me. and just waiting for the Australian Grand Prix, I suppose. But after Australia, it is the Dutch GP in Zandvoort. It's pretty much home to most of these Dutch people here. Of course, majority of these people are Dutch, and a lot of people will be wanting to win their home Grand Prix. Is there a Brit in this session? I don't think there is. Anybody British in this session? Nope, I don't think there's no Brits here. So I'm the only Brit in this session, whilst there's a few Dutchies, Belgian drivers, Norwegians. We've got a Swedish driver here, which is Ralph, and I don't think anybody else is from anywhere. Of course, Milan and Marciano having the Barbados flag on their names. Red Joke is not Italian. Yeah, pretty much this grid is filled with Dutch people and a Belgian, a Norwegian Dutchman, and also a Super Swede in P9 is Ralph. So Robbie Jacobs then leads this race. He's got 9 or 10 laps to defend against Sasha. And how difficult is that going to be? You know, you've got a upcoming champion, upcoming young prosper on his rear. And let's see how Robbie Jacobs can play this out towards the end of the race. What tools has he got at his disposal to use towards the end of the race against Sasha? The problem is, on the flip side, he's on older tyres by 2 laps, and Sasha's got the youngest tyres out of all of them. Watch out for Ralph and Dex in P9 and P10. They could be very quick towards the end on the mini compound tyres. So let's see if they can make up some places. And Fireblaze 2 down in P13, the man that got spun earlier in this race by Ralph. Respectably, Miles Marquez is doing a great job, and Ryan Benning says oops as he's in the comment section. So Ryan, can you tell us what happened? Did you hit the inside wall on the pit lane? That's what I could think could happen. There's no else. You could have ended your race prematurely, I'm afraid, mate. So when was Robbie Jacobs' last win? It must have been a long time ago, no offense to him. Robbie Jacobs, a 2-time champion of JSR, of course, a high, credible, respectable driver indeed. Yes, he's had his moments in the past. His last win was at the Dutch GP last season ahead of Gattegas and Misha, so it's been a long time since we've seen him win. Had a moment, tyre popped on the pit entrance wall. Oh, what a shame, Ryan, but Australia is still around the corner, so hopefully he can do well down under there, and we'll see how he performs. But Ryan has picked up a plethora amount of podiums and a few wins as well last season when he's still quick and competitive, but Robbie Jacobs could still make a few mistakes. Like, he could be very riled up easily and drive in frustration, thinking emotionally rather than rationally, I must say, for Robbie Jacobs. Hopefully he doesn't come at me with that, because I think most of it... Oh, there's front mid damage. There is front mid damage there. Robbie Jacobs pulls the pin, and we get racing once again. Here comes the Red Bull side by side with Miles Marquez. That's Red Joke looking for a podium. Here we go, down towards tail when we go. Red Joke laid the bricks, but Miles Marquez trying to hold it around the outside. And let's see who can get a better exit. Miles Marquez is still there alongside Ven Joke. We know what happens when these two come too close together. Ven Joke will try and do everything in his power to go around the outside towards turn 2. He will have the inside for turn 3. Can he get a good run? Miles Marquez, elbow sides, and he's off the track as well, as Ven Joke there just gives him the cold shoulder. And this contact too. And Miles Marquez has been dropped into P4. Ven Joke takes third place away. And Miles Marquez still tangling with Ven Joke. He's desperate to get that podium back. He's fought for it in this race, but got caught napping at the safety car restart. A Red Bull 1 and 3. Can you believe it? Red Joke is back at the podium. But how much longer? How am I going to orchestrate the podium interviews, by the way? What do I do in terms of podium interviews? Why not just do them? It'll be very harsh for the drivers not to get a podium interview, but of course, what do I do? Wow, Ven Joke is on the podium, but let's see how his long race pace serves for him. You know, his longevity with long pace can disappear a little bit. He hasn't got the race pace to manage the top 2 and try and stick with them. We saw back in USA he was dropping back quite significantly, and once again Miles Marquez is on the prowl. Boost mode has been activated. Here we go between the two drivers at the front of the field. Sasha versus Robbie Jacobs, headed down towards turn 1. Ven Joke is defensive on the brakes there, going in towards turn 1, and Sasha goes down the inside there, a jink to the right side. And can he get this completed? Yes, no he can't, as Robbie Jacobs there defends for his life, as in the background too, we've got 2x2 headed out towards turn 3. Miles Marquez and Ven Joke side by side once again, and this time it's Miles Marquez on the outside towards turn 3, now going towards turn 4. Ven Joke off the track and stays ahead of Miles Makis for the time being. This battle continues towards turn 4. Red Joke just gets ahead, but there's a bit of a continual effect as well going towards turn 4. Red Joke is still ahead of Miles Makis, but Miles Makis gets a much better exit, shooting on the chicane down the inside towards 6 and 7. Red Joke is out of shape in the mid corner, and Miles Makis is giving him a bit of a hurry on, harrowing around the corner there. And look at this, Miles Makis clearly more confident, and hard to cast on the inside towards 11 we go. That could have been damn dear on the brakes for him. Well, not damn dear on the brakes, but that could have been ended in tears. There we go. Let me get my words out before I speak. But that could have been in tears for both of them there. Imagine they both spun. Don't forget, Kick is still in the race. The man that won, I think, the Baku Grand Prix last season, and Sasha once again on the back of Robbie Jacobs. Robbie Jacobs is going to be under massive pressure down towards turn 1 we go. This time Sasha laying the brakes again, and Robbie will do everything to try and keep it around the outside. Gets pinched on the curb on the apex there towards turn 1, and Sasha has taken the lead of the race, and he goes defensive 2, forcing Robbie to try and go around the outside, but he doesn't have the grip to do so. Meanwhile, further backwards, we've got Ben Joke there. He was going sideways through the corner. He's struggling massively. Miles Makis tries to the under and over. Got the boost mode too. There's no way on the inside towards turn 4. Miles Makis is patient. He's biding his time. I think the old Miles Makis, I dare say, would have gone for that. Ralph is still a P10 on midi compound tyres, so hasn't really gained any ground on those midi compound tyres there. He's stagnated in P10. Same with Fireblaze, who's made up 2 places from P13 to P11 after that spin he encountered at the first part of the race. I bet Fireblaze wished he stayed out there on the hard compound tyres. No, he did medium, hard, medium. Never mind, I thought he started on the hard compound tyres, but he pitted. And he's done 2 stops in this race. And here comes the Cadillac on the inside. This is Miles Makis versus Hatakas. They're both trying to attack Red Joke for the podium. Hatakas trying to go around the outside towards turn 13. This still holds it and trying to get a better exit. But Miles Makis having to attack and defend at the same time. In a peculiar situation, he wants to get past Red Joke, but Red Joke is doing everything in his power to keep him behind. As we now approach turn 1 once again, Red Joke on the inside line again, forcing Miles Makis to go around the outside. But Miles Makis being patient, backs out of that one. And I thought he would have done the over and under. And Kick is ahead of Hatakas there. And Miles Makis on the inside, there's contact, and Red Joke is in a spin. That ended in tears there for both of them. Absolute disaster for Miles Makis and Red Joke. Hatakas there. That fancies a run at Miles Makis. We could see that one coming from a mile away between those two. I don't think Red Joke could have left a bit more room. Was Miles Makis too overzealous on the inside there? Hatakas struggling mid-corner and gets a terrible exit with Kick on the back of him and Dex following behind. Milan Langer has been stranded in P7 for a long period of time in this race. He's been circulating around the track in P7 majority of it as well. It seems to be his favourite spot. Red Joke will be so disappointed. Both drivers will have their opinions after this race on whose fault it is. Both drivers will point the finger. Was Miles Makis too late? Did Red Joke move on the brake? Did he give him space? Should he give him space? There's questions to be answered, and it's hindsight's a wonderful thing, but in the moment it all could go wrong. So lap 19.25 pretty much now settled down. Dex is on the charge on the mini compound tyres. Dex has made up more ground than Ralph has on those mini compound tyres. It's Fireblaze there looking for a move on the inside against Ralph, the man. Do you know what? This will be his 2nd or 3rd time overtaking him in this race. I bet Fireblaze is so sick of seeing the man who spun in front of him ahead of him. And Fireblaze has got damage. I did mention there's a bit of carbon fiber scattered across the track. Staven too. Staven has damage on his front wing. So those 2 drivers there get themselves in a bit of a little bit of contact there too for good measure. Look at the gap. Sasha has pulled over Robbie Jacobs. Buckets amount of time. 3.1 seconds. Miles Makis is 3.5 back towards Robbie Jacobs there. And Hatakas still fancies a chance on the podium. It does the Dutchman against his fellow Dutch compatriot of Miles Makis. Will Hatakas play patient and wait for the latter stages in this race now? He's got Kick right behind him too. Kick looking very racy so far in this race. Starts at P9, up into P5, and could be challenging for a potential spot on the podium. But one more spot left on the podium because Robbie Jacobs and Sasha are well out of sight. And there is one more spot left to be acclaimed by who? Miles Makis there looking in his wing mirrors to see if Khatakas is going to overtake him. He has to anticipate every single move that Khatakas does. But Khatakas there is probably waiting because he knows that if he overtakes now, that gives the advantage back towards Miles Makis in terms of the battery and the boost, which is so crucial, pivotal. But I've seen in the past, if you can get this, because you save a lot of battery around this track, especially the middle part of the lap. You're not on the throttle most of the time. So the person being attacked can save the battery in the middle sector and use and dump it all down the main straight. I have seen in the past where the driver behind has been unsuccessful of getting past. I think somebody did it to me. I was in a league race and I was on the back of somebody for a long time and I couldn't overtake him. I was right behind him, had overtake mode, but I just couldn't overtake him, which was so infuriating indeed for my race. I swore down it could have been in this race, whereas I maybe commentated a situation where that could have happened to. I'm not quite sure to who or where, but I definitely remember somebody there who could overtake down the main straight. Once again, we round the final corner. There's 4 laps left to go. This Hungarian Grand Prix is coming to a close, and Sasha has been formidable since the get-go. He hasn't looked backwards. He's been overtaking drivers one by one, and he's definitely the driver of the day for sure. No denying that. I can't see anybody else being the driver of the day. He has had to do the hard work himself, literally from the back of the field, has Sasha. This is why he's becoming a champion at JSR. It's inevitable. I don't think nobody else can stop the formidable force of Sasha, just Hood in P1. So Khatakas playing the long patient game as Ben Joe there picks up a penalty and Milan Langer is under pressure from Stevan. These two were close together back in Silverstone last season and it didn't end well for both of them there. Both of them end up spinning, unfortunately. Stevan, who won the last race in Kota, unfortunately couldn't reflect his teammates' drive either. He has made up 4 places but couldn't do the same thing his teammate did. There is no way for Khatakas was going to overtake down the inside there. I thought that would be a bit of a silly move there should he wait later on in the Grand Prix. And in the background you can see there is more another battle brewing between Ralph and Vedjuk and Mummy Nick and Fireblaze too. So that quadruple is fighting over P8. I think I said that wrong. Is it quartet? Yeah, it's quartet, sorry, not quadruple. But Khatakas there, what will he decide to do on this lap? Attack or defend? Well, both really, hasn't he? Because if he gives Kick 1 iota, a little bit of a stiffer chance, Kick will go for it. Because Kick wants to be in 4th place to attack Miles Makis as well. So Khatakas is there in a bit of a sandwich and has got to watch out for Kick as well. So he's got to anticipate what Kick's going to do. Because Khatakas knows this is the best place to be in 4th place. To have the slipstream and the boost off of Miles Makis to defend against Kick. And lap 24-25 is when Khatakas is going to make his move. Retrospectively, if Miles Makis there could save battery in the middle sector and defend against Khatakas, that's what he's going to do now. He knows that the attack is coming on later in the Grand Prix, so what he's going to do is manage and replenish the battery in this particular part of the track, and hopefully that'll be his saving grace towards the end of this race. That's his strategy play now. He knows he's the guinea pig in 3rd place. And here comes Khatakas. Once again, Miles Makis gets a poor exit. And this time, oh, there's contact. Was there contact? Miles Makis off the track there. And here comes Kick, taking on Miles Makis. And he's trying to go around the outside, can he? This would be a sensational move if he can pull it off. He hasn't got it moved. Yes, he has. On the inside there, but did Khatakas back off there to get the overtake? Yes, he did. Khatakas now is still in 4th place. That's quite funny how he hasn't moved anywhere, has Khatakas, because he overtook Miles, but Kick overtook him. As we now go down towards Tail 1 again, Milan Langer is under attack from the Audi driver of Stevan now, who switches under and over. But Miles Makis is side by side, and does he dispose of Khatakas? He made contact with Vedjuk previously a few laps ago, but this time keeps it nice and clean, and he's defending there against Khatakas, and now gets a bad exit. And Dex, the mini compound tyres, is through. He's up to P5. What a drive from Dexter in P5. He'll be absolutely delighted. Would there be a chance for a podium? It's highly likely. It's not the question or the equation that Dex will be the podium. Depends what happens to Miles and Kick. But Kick is on the podium as well after two great moves, as we see 2 drivers off the track there. Mum and Nick, and was it Vedjuk or Fireblaze? Not quite sure who that was. I think it could have been Vedjuk because I did see a Red Bull take a trip across the track. So Jens has been disqualified from the session as he picks up a penalty. Who's interesting. He picks up a penalty after he's been disqualified. Never seen that one before. We're coming on towards the penultimate lap of this race, lap 24 for Sasha, who has got a bit of a gap between himself and Robbie Aquas, but the battle for P3 is well and truly on towards the end. This will be a great fight towards the end of the Grand Prix, and we know that Miles Marquez has decided to go for on the last lap there. So Kick, what he's got to do is try and store up as much battery as he can to defend against Miles Marquez, because surely this attack isn't coming on the last lap of the race, and Kick wants full battery to try and use it all down the straight to defend against Miles Marquez. So who will it be on the podium? Will it be Kick, Miles or Dex? We're about to find out on the next lap around here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's been a great race so far. We've seen Sasha charging through the field there, picking his drivers one by one, taking no prisoners in this race whatsoever, and hasn't looked back since. Great moves indeed, I must say. It wasn't really rash making those moves, was he? It wasn't. It was controlled dive bombs. It was controlled on the brakes. He claimed the apex like Ricardo did years ago when he used to be the last of the late breakers. You love to see those great moves indeed. He didn't want to be stuck in the traffic, and just be stuck in this DRS train here as Venjoke and Ralph are swapping places. But this is where it all happens now. On the last lap of the Grand Prix, lap 25 out of 25, only a few more kilometres left to go in this race, and Miles Marquez is right behind Kick. Has Kick got enough battery left in the battery store there, trying to defend against Miles Marquez? Here we go, down towards turn one. It's got to be a late save for Miles Marquez. He does not go for it. He's pushing Kick to the corners. Who gets a better exit out of turn one here? Both of them even on traction there towards turn one. Now this, turn two. It's not down at turn two. There's probably one more chance towards turn four. Has Kick got the covers bases? Has he got the bases covered here? I wonder out of turn four. He's got no battery at all. Has Miles Marquez, and Kick has got a little bit left in his disposal to use, just in case if Miles Marquez decides to attack in turn 13 or 12. I think Kick will hold on here, but you never know. If Miles Marquez can probably get a better exit out a few corners there and out traction him down towards turn 12. But Kick, he needs to keep it nice and tidy, keep it within the wide lines, and don't do anything stupid now. Just needs some clean, fine exits, and Kick gets that as well. And he should be covered for P3. But here comes the race winner. It is Sasha who wins the Hungarian Grand Prix to extend and boost his championship aspirations towards Australia. And it's looking very certain. Very, very certain indeed for the Dutchman. He could get his championship wrapped up at the Australian Grand Prix. Robbie Jacobs finishes a P2 ahead of Kick. Miles Marquez P4 ahead of Dex. Hartikas P6. Milan Langer in 7th ahead of Stefan. Vejo P9. Ralph P10. Fireblaze. Seam and Mummy Nick. MVD. Bozza. And that is it, the top 15 in this race. I do think Sasha could win the championship in Australia. There is your race winner. We now move to the Australian Grand Prix, and I'll see you all very soon. I'm going to take a short break because commentating for a long time can be very, very wearing for my voice. So I'll see you in Australia. And now, just minutes after one of the drives of his season, Sasha Hood arrives in Australia with the championship firmly in his sights. He started in Hungary from P13 with no qualifying, producing from incredible overtakes, but the race is about to begin very, very shortly. It's a quick start, and we are underway for the Australian Grand Prix for the second race here in JSR, and they're ghosted inside each other as we head down towards Tail 1. That is Sasha taking the lead from Jens, who's at the back of the field. So that's quite strange and surprising there. But it's Robbie Jacobs versus Sasha headed down into turn number 3 we go. Leather brakes, goes defensive, goes Sasha. Tries to keep Robbie Jacobs at bay, and he's done that successfully for the time being. There's more jockeying in the background there too, with Kiggins squeezed to the outside. He's alongside Stevan. Stevan out of shape and twitchy through the exit of turn 6 we go. Now through the the right-hander turn 7 and 8 we go. Sorry, this is a quick race, and there's a lot of things going on here as well, so I didn't get time to prepare myself, but hopefully we now get into a rhythm. Here we go then. A VSC has been deployed in this race, so here we go. Things can start to slow down now. I can start to catch up. So here we go then at the Australian Grand Prix. Sasha in the lead ahead of Robbie Jacobs. Miles Mackis in P3. It was quite a weird start, you know, because people were ghosting and I had no idea where a few drivers were, so I didn't get to see the full extent of what happened there. There's 5 races left to go, including this one. 1, 2, 5 points are still available, and Australia is here as well. So Sasha doesn't necessarily need another victory. He simply needs to keep scoring while his rivals are forced to take risks in this race. Stay by the P7, and in the pit lane comes Gas. Then what's he going to do? A one-stop strategy towards the end of the hardcore power tyres. You lose less time in the pit lane, of course, because the VSC increases your race time by 40%. And you lose less time in the pit lane. This could be an aggressive strategy for Gas. He's given up track position to go on the new hardcore power tyres, so he's taking new tyres. Could he go towards the end on the hardcore power tyres? Theoretically, he doesn't have to pit, but it's going to be a mammoth stint on those hardcore power tyres. If a safety car VSC comes out later on the Grand Prix, his strategy would definitely been interrupted and ruined by that then. So he's hoping that no more interruptions cause these VSCs and safety cars. This has been a long VSC, you know. Sometimes they've shortened by even like a few corners, but some people have been caught out, including Dex. Dex, I think, has got a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC. That's a high-risk, high-reward situation there as well, because if you do that, it's a monster of a penalty. And here comes Robbie Jacobs. No, he backs off. Here comes Miles Mackis. I think Robbie's forced into an overtake. He just stays ahead of Miles Mackis there, but under massive pressure from the Mercedes man right behind as well. Miles Mackis looking for revenge after losing the podium back in Australia. And here comes Robbie to take the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. But Sasha is a bit late on the brakes there. Towards turn 11 he goes. And Sasha remains in the lead for the time being. We're under huge pressure. I think it's going to be a bit difficult to break away in this fight for the lead of the Grand Prix. You've got like 3-4 activation zones for straight mode. You've got boost mode too. So I think pulling away here in Australia is going to be a bit more difficult than Hungary. But in the pit lanes comes Dex to serve his drive-through penalty. That is a harsh penalty. One of the worst penalties you can get. You don't get you get a 10-second stop-go penalty, a 5-second, sorry, in the pit lane. And a drive-through penalty is possibly the worst in this game because you just lose so much time there as well for good measure. So yeah, his race has definitely been unfortunately hampered there. Has the race ball just... VSCs catch a lot of people out, and it can really ruin somebody's progress in the race too. So yeah, he's definitely paid the price for that one, I'm afraid. The ramifications for speed in the VSC are very high indeed. It's already lap 3 of this race, and Miles Mackis is alongside Robbie Jacobs, and he goes past him for P2. Could he be the one to stop Sasha from winning this race? Sasha, I think, has taken 7 wins this season, including the one in Hungary. I think he's match better joke in terms of winning status, the most wins in the season. Stevan gets ahead on Milan Langer, and this is crucial. And Stevan almost dropped it out of turn 11 there. We've seen plenty of people in the past there lose out of turn 11 because you want to get the power as quickly as you can straighten the car up. Of course, sometimes the battery can be an influence too, because there's so much surge in power in the battery mode if you get the power too quickly, and the boost mode can overtake as well and can really light up the rear tyres and spin that way too. But Robbie Jacobs is languishing behind. He's 9/10 there, just teetering on the edge of being outside the 1 second range of battery mode. Milan fancies to move on the outside. Stevan's forced to go on the defensive there, covers Milan Langer off, and stays in P4. Milan Lange won the Australian Grand Prix, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of seasons ago, didn't he? Who was it that had a big fight? It was Finn Hertz versus Robbie Jacobs for the win, if I'm not mistaken. They both went off track together in turn 11. And here comes Kick alongside Milan Lange, fancies a piece of the Dutchman there and gets ahead of him. Next target is the Audi. Here comes, who's that? That's the other Haas, isn't it? No, it's Milan Lange, sorry. My goodness me, I got confused in terms of the colours there. There were so many different colours in one picture, I got confused. And that is the Cadillac of Ryan Benink going side by side, but he's boxed in there. He's boxed in, but can he still make the move? Yes, he can. Just behind the Audi, he settles into P6. So Milan Lange has lost basically 3 places towards Kick, Steven and Ryan there. So dropped backwards quite massively, has the Dutchman. But can he get himself in now a bit of a rhythm here? As Charles Leclerc says, what rhythm? Hopefully Milan Lange can find himself in a rhythm. But it's pretty much a big train from P1 down towards P11 then. So Ralph is just hanging back in this train there, stagnated in P11. Be hard to move forwards. But I'm very intrigued in terms of Hatikas's strategy, because it can't be a 2-stop. There's 2-stop is definitely out of the equation here. It's a 1-stop strategy, and he thinks those hard compound tyres can go towards the end of this race then. Of course, you lose less time in the pit lane. But these guys will be flying towards the end of the race once they make their pit stop on the hard compound tyre. Kick is dropping backwards. We know his longevity can be, his longevity pace can sometimes could be the Achilles heel of him. And we can see Miles Marquez there challenging Sasha for first place, and Ryan Benink then is ahead of Stevan as Bozza has left the session. He hasn't crashed on the circuit. He's left. There's no VSCs or safety cars. I think Hatikas there had his hand in his heart. Sorry, had his heart in his mouth. Sorry, when he saw that safety car, when he saw that yellow flag. Back towards the front of the field. Miles Marquez looking very racist so far. He's looking very comfortable. The last time we saw him race Australia was a long time ago. But he's on the par once again of Sasha. Robbie Jacobs keeping tabs with the top 2 as he follows along those 2. But Miles Marquez there playing a long, patient waiting game. He's not overtaking Sasha yet. He can overtake Sasha, but choosing not to, biding his time and just settling into a rhythm here. When he fancy a move on the outside towards turn 3, can he get it complete? He goes sideways in the corner, goes wayward indeed. Why is he still fighting there? It's not a really good place to fight. There's no need to fight it out in turn 4 and 5, so he needs to back up, but they still go wheel to wheel. This is giving all the impetus towards Robbie Jacobs now, because Robbie Jacobs has closed the gap towards the top 2. Unnecessary amount of fighting there between Miles and Sasha, but it's nice to see from the audience point of view. I'm not quite sure why I'm bothered about that, but in terms of these guys racing, they know that the long-term game is very important for this race, because it settles the rhythm and the narrative for this race. So Miles Marquez then takes the lead of the race ahead of Sasha. Of course, now on the flip side, he's got to be defending, and he's run out of battery too for good measure. You guys, look at that. Sasha's battery has been absolutely sufficient in this race. Well, Miles Marquez used it all to get past Sasha. You've got to be very wise and calculated and methodical in terms of battery. The strategy is very crucial. You can't afford to use all your eggs in one go. You've got to save some towards the end of this race as well. And now Sasha has been given the overtake mode to play with against Miles Marquez there. So Miles Marquez has got to do some serious battery management as well. Battery management is always the key figure in this race. And Robbie Jacobs has dropped backwards there. So he's made a mistake somewhere in the final corner of turn 1, because Kick is hot on his heels. And he's dropped backwards there and essentially out of the fight for first and second place. Once you lose that battery, it is so painful, because you've got to use all the battery yourself to get within the striking distance of first and second place. And once you're out of it, it's definitely a detriment for your race indeed. Look at him struggling through turn 6 as well, playing with the trail limits on the outside there. That is easy place to pick up trail limits. It's so frustrating. And here comes Sasha once again to retake the lead of the Australian Grand Prix and simply walk past the Mercedes driver to reclaim the lead of this race. That's Miles Marquez. I think for his chances, he's got to sit behind Sasha, because he knows he's low on battery. So where's Hartigas? He's behind Jens. Well, it's Jens versus Jens. Here we go then for the battle with the Jens drivers. Will Jens overtake Jens going down towards 11? There's contact with Jens as Jens tries to go around the outside of Jens. Can he make a stick? Jens almost off the track there. Here comes Dex to split up the Jens, and Dex has split up the Jens indeed. He's in between both Jens drivers as Jens just stays ahead of Dex and Jens. I'm definitely playing that one too long there, but I've always wanted to make the same joke, you know. Jens has pitted, which frees up Dex and Jens. And there comes our race leaders then. Not race leaders, but the guys further up in the mid-pack. Oh, almost contacted towards Tier 1. Hattekas, the strategy, I dare say, has not paid off. He was going for something adventurous and completely different in this race. But I don't think that strategy has worked. Pitting on the VSC, because he's in between the traffic and on much older tyres. And the guys on newer tyres will simply just pull ahead and build a massive gap. So that strategy to go in the pit lane has not paid off there, unfortunately, for Hattekas. It was a risky strategy, a bold one. Could have been a blunder or a blinder, and it certainly has been a blunder for the time being. Milan fighting with Ryan Benink for P3. This is a battle for the podium, but we know, of course, Kig has pitted, so has Steven, so has Robbie Jacobs too. I wonder if any of these guys respond. Yes, Miles Makis, our two leaders are in the pit lane at the end of this lap. So we're looking for the undercut with Robbie Jacobs pitting earlier than his rivals. As Milan Langer, his day goes from bad to worse, doesn't it? Picks up a 10-second time penalty to compound the misery for his race. So where is Robbie Jacobs going to feed in? Has the undercut worked, Robbie Jacobs? If it hasn't, then it's going to be a difficult race from there. Let's see if he gets ahead of his rivals. No, he doesn't. By a long stretch of MVD slots in between Sasha and Miles Makis. Right, Miles Makis, he's got to get a move on. He's got to pass the Ferrari driver as quick as he possibly can. He's going to be so frustrated, but he's stuck behind this Ferrari driver, but now he gets ahead of him, hopefully before turn 6. Oh, contact between the two there. He tried to close him off and take the racing line, but he was still alongside there and give MVD the cold shoulder on the outside too, for good measure, pushed him wayward, and ultimately has fallen down into P6 there. Robbie Jacobs got past too, so made light work of the Ferrari driver, but has this given a pass to Sasha now to pull away from Miles Makis? The gap is 1.2 seconds there. So has that moment for Miles Makis hindered him and cost him the chance of victory? Because once you're outside the 1 second range of battery, it's pretty much impossible to get yourself back in that battery mode, unfortunately for him. Mummy Nick is now in the pit lane to serve his pit stop. I thought for 1 second he might speed in the pit lane, but he keeps it, adheres to the pit lane speed limiter, and makes his pit stop from medium to hard compound tyres. So Venjoke is yet to pit. The gap is 9.5 seconds between himself and Sasha. Of course, he's going from the hard compound tyres to the mediums, but he has picked up a 3-second time penalty, which should cost him, and that's going to be detrimental for his race later on in the Grand Prix. He pitted up very early doors in the race, not quite sure when it was, but it was super early in this race. Only 10 laps left to go as well in the Australian Grand Prix, so this race is flying by. There's not much action now between the leaders because Miles Makis is struggling there to bring that gap down under a second, and looks like Sasha has been given the green light to pull away from Miles Makis there. So Miles Makis is trying to do everything he can in his disposal to try and bring that gap down, but I think his main focus could be looking backwards now towards Kik and Robbie Jacobs. Kik and Robbie Jacobs on the meanwhile is in hot pursuit of each other, with Ryan Benink following behind then, possibly for the final spot on the podium. This is between these three. Who will be the lucky one to finish in P3? I wonder between those three. We're halfway into this race. We're just waiting for the announcement of Sasha winning this championship. We're going to have a new champion in this season, that's for sure. And Sasha, you've got to give all credit to him, because he's been the unstoppable force this season. A driver who has just dominated races and played it very smart in terms of strategy, tactical, and very good when it comes to in battles as well. He's super damn down the brakes against other people, and he knows when to attack, knows when to defend. That's Hattekas ahead of MVD in their private battle for P9. MVD yet to pit in this race. Fireblaze goes around the outside there in a turn number 5-6. That's where Robbie Kubica crashed with Sebastian Vettel back in 2009. They both crashed in turn 3, then both ended up at turn 6 when they both spun out and crashed. Oh, look at this! Through goes Ryan Benink, and these two are side by side still in the corner, but Kick stays ahead. That was super bold and aggressive. Ryan Benink is up into P4, had to make the move on the grass, but King comes back immediately on the brakes in towards turn 11, and he moves up back into P4. Wow, Ryan Benink took full-blown opportunity to get past them both there. That was super aggressive indeed. Could have spun on the grass there if he had the overtake available and the rear wing open too. But Kick immediately back through there, ahead of Ryan Benink, who's in overtaking mode of Kick. Remember, guys, this is a battle for P3. It's worth noting that because Venjoke is still yet to pit. So this means a lot to these three drivers to see which one of these three will end up in the final stages of this race. Dex, who picked up a drive-through penalty, who was languishing in 5th place at one point in the race, but unfortunately shot himself in the foot when he suffered with that penalty, a drive-through penalty. This is Hartigas and Muminick in battle between each other. Muminick stays at P10, but who's that being a menace down there? These two side by side. Please don't do anything stupid, man. Come on. Yeah, please, whatever you do, for the love of God, don't cause safety car. Benink is ahead of Kick, and a much simpler move this time. Not on the grass and up into P4. And Sem has left the session. Hello, Seam. Hoe gaat het? As we see these three there once again in a battle between each other. Ryan Kick and Robbie Jacobs. Kick picked up a podium. It would be nice to have 2 podiums in a row for Kick, as he's flying so far at the Australian Grand Prix. And Ryan Benink would like to end off on high notes. Goed met jou? Ja, het het goed met mij, dankjewel jongen. Hoe was je dag? And who else down there causing yellow flags? Is it Dex? Is it Jens? I'm quite sure which one of those two it was, but causing a bit of trouble on the track, it must be said. Those two are. Nick picks up a 3-second penalties down there in P10, fighting with the likes of Hartigas for the final spot inside the top 10 there. Points do go down to 12th place, don't forget. So MVD, if he finishes in 12th place, will pick up 1 point, but he's yet to pit in this race. Same with Venjoke. There's 2 drivers yet to pit in this race. Miles Makis. Oh, Miles Makis has caught up to Sasha. I didn't even know that. Did Sasha make a mistake? The gap was like over 2 seconds at one point. I've been so fixated on the battle for P3. And look at Miles Makis. Right, this Miles Makis has been given a second bite of the cherry. Was it pure pace, or was it Sasha making a mistake? Now, Miles Makis has been given this second opportunity to get Sasha. Now, he's got to save battery this time and be more clever and tactical in terms of battery. Met Steven, mijn wel goed in de bij jou. Ja, mijn dag was goed, dankjewel. G ook. Miles Makis is right behind Sasha for the battle for first place, the Nets P1. And he's making a move. He's making a move down towards turn 3. Let's see if he gets it done on the brakes towards 3. No, Sasha holding his own on the outside. Miles almost drops the car. And they go wheel to wheel once again as Miles Makis is shown the outside of the track. And Sasha remains in P2. I think Miles Makis has got to save battery. That's been his downer so far, his Achilles heel. Has been battery management. I think he's got to save it, not use all of it in one go. He's got 6 laps to decide what happens. I don't think this is a smart play from Miles Makis, you know. He's wasting and draining his battery. And look at Sasha, 45%. I think Miles Makis just needs to calm down a little bit and not overtake. And, well, he can overtake if he wants to, but in terms of battery, he needs it towards the end, because if he doesn't, he will be vulnerable and a sitting duck towards the end of the Grand Prix. Ryan Benink for the second time in a row has crashed. He's crashed. That's the exit of turn. Where's that? Where is he? Oh, Ryan Benink, what have you done this time? Same place as Timo Glock back in 2008. Don't forget, remember, Timo Glock literally smashed in the wall and went airborne for a few seconds. Now, people, oh, Venjoke has pitted. This has benefited Venjoke massively. But don't forget, he does have a 3-second penalty. People are pitted. Sasha is not pitting. Yes, he is. Sorry, he went up into first place. I think the Audi pit lane is further down. I thought he stayed out. So Robbie Jacobs bold and brave to stay out there. His teammate did pit, so he didn't want a double stack. Vedjoke is effectively the leader of the Grand Prix. He's in P2. Ribening, his championship has been completely thrown out the window. Whilst the safety car's out. Whilst the safety car is out, I'm going to take a short break and I'll be back with you for a thrilling end to the Australia Grand Prix. Just taking this short break to get my voice, and hopefully the last few laps will put on some fireworks towards the end. Will Vedjoke be a guinea pig? How can he? You know, because, well, he's got to be a guinea pig, but on the flip side, Robbie Jacobs is on older tyres, and Vedjoke has a penalty. So, what do? Do they prioritise the team? Do they just go for it? And Miles Mackey is on the mediums. Sash, do you know what? I'm surprised, you know, why Miles and Vedjoke has gone for the medium compound tyres, because every single driver has got a set of the soft compound tyres. Remember, there's been no qualifying, so I'm surprised, you know, why Miles Mackey and Vedjoke has gone for the medium compound tyres. The sauce could definitely make it towards the end, but Miles Mackey wants extra security towards the end of the race, hoping that the tyres will stay alive, hoping that the guys behind will suffer with a bit of degradation. I will be back with you very shortly. Let's just embrace the final few laps together here in Australia. Get ready for a tense last few laps of the race. You know what happens when a safety car comes out? Everything goes chaotic indeed. That's a racing bull off the track there. That's Dex, who is not a part of this battle. He's been a lapped car. But here we go then. Vedjoke is back in the pack. Not ready to respond to Robbie Jacobs there. Restart. But here we go then. This is where the race begins again. As we now head towards turn one we go. There's six tenths between Vedjoke and Robbie Jacobs there. Miles Mackey needs to get ahead of Vedjoke if he wants a chance to win here in JSR. Chances of winning are high, but Sasha, the incredible threat, is right behind him as well. Got two Red Bulls in the way. Can Miles Mackey make light work of Vedjoke and Robbie Jacobs? It's going to be so difficult. He's got 3 laps to try and get his first win here for JSR. Can he do it? A lot of work has to be done. He's got to earn it. And in the background, Ralph goes off the track there. There's a racing bull off the track. But here we go then. Can Miles Mackey blast past both of them? Robbie Jacobs is under massive pressure. And here comes Miles Mackey around the outside of Robbie Jacobs. Takes away P2. Next target is Vedjoke. Carries so much speed through turn on and turn 10. Almost wipes out Vedjoke in the process. And here it comes then. Vedjoke has no battery. Miles Makis is in the lead of the race, but not yet, because Vedjoke is damn dear on the brakes. And here comes Sasha to take away P2 ahead of Miles Makis. Miles Makis there almost thought he had the move done, but Vedjoke late on the brakes as he always is. Not yielding. Kick has gone for a spin. Kick has gone for a spin in the background there. And unfortunately, race has been unravelled and it's gone bad to worse for the Dutchman looking for a podium here in Australia. Lap 18 out of 20, Kick has retired on the circuit here. Remember, Vedjoke and Miles Makis made contact in turn 3, came to blows that way and spun around. And now Sasha backs off there. This is impressive. Not only Sasha is becoming a champion, but he's racing with only 3 tyres. Incredible. Sasha has taken the lead of the Australian Grand Prix, doing a Lewis Hamilton with only 3 tyres towards the Grand Prix. Of course, that's a visual glitch. I know it's a visual glitch before anybody says anything. But Vedjoke has no battery. It's been depleted completely. He's obliterated and disintegrated his battery. Oh my goodness me! There's a big crash and Vedjoke is in the wall. Miles Makis there on the outside. And both of them have met in the middle, came to blows. And Stevan is up into P2. Could it be an Audi 1-2? Stevan now muscles his way up into P2. And there's 3 abreast in the back of Fireblaze versus Wobiakos versus Gas for the battle for P4. Fireblaze gets ahead of both of them. What a redemption for Fireblaze there. And Miles Makis, well, he's been trying every single chance to get this victory against Sasha. But every time he's had a chance, something goes wrong and he gets relegated down the order. Now he's alongside Stevan as they make their way through towards turn 1. Miles Makis is in second place again. And can he finally hunt down Sasha? He's had a lot of hard work to do in this race. It's not been easy. It's been a challenging, eventful race for Miles Makis there. And this time, Sasha is in front of him. What can he do against the Dutchman? On the medium compound tyres, of course, Stevan's struggling through the exit of turn 5 there, has dropped a little bit of tense between himself and Miles Makis. Milan Langer is a P8 behind him with Nick. Those 2 Hasses there are squabbling away, but I want to see the battle for first place because this will be intriguing to see who finishes ahead of who. As we know, these guys are harvesting and saving battery. This is where the super clipping will come into it. That's the first time I think I've said that. Super clipping. I don't think I've ever said it, but Stevan's got more battery. Then Miles Makis is alongside his fellow Dutch compatriot and he gets ahead. I really hope these 2 scrap. There's no point letting Sasha win. I hope these 2 brought it out towards the end. We want to see this. No team orders. Come on, guys, go for it. Go for it. I don't want to see Stevan defending for Miles Makis because there's no need. Because Sasha's well clear in the championship. I want to see them roll it out on the track. But here we go then, Miles Makis again making a move on Stevan. Why Stevan? You know what? As we now make our way down towards turn 1. Oh, this contact. That's ended pretty much a race there, unfortunately. But here we go then. It's the final lap of the Grand Prix in this race. And Fireblaze could get a podium. He's right behind, Miles Makis, who has got no battery to his name, but he does not have overtake mode. The gap is 1.1, but oh, Miles has spun the car. No, that's the other Mercedes, sorry. That's the other Mercedes. It's the final lap of the race. And Sasha Hood is just moments away from being a JSR champion. His teammate is there to celebrate with him in second place. I would have loved to see a fight between those 2. But I think Stevan was too fixated on Miles Makis there. And he's under massive pressure for Fireblaze right behind. But back towards Sasha. 8 countless victories for the man in P1 there. Incredible comebacks and a season where he's had to fight for every single point, every single race win for Sasha. It comes down to these final few corners. The composure of Sasha, he's been under pressure all season, and yet when it mattered most, he delivered. From barely fighting for podiums in previous seasons to standing on the verge of the biggest accomplishment in JSR, and he almost spins the car too for good measure, but it doesn't matter because JSR, here comes your new champion. Sasha wins the Australian Grand Prix. Sasha is your new champion of JSR. What a career this season for Sasha. He's achieved it, and it's going to be a great season for Sasha. It's going to be. I'm speechless, I shouted and my voice is gone. I'm absolutely speechless. But what a season from Sasha. He delivered. He put in the hard work all the way through the season. He thoroughly deserves it. and he's your new champion of JSR. Congratulations to Sasha. Very happy for the Dutchman indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes your new champion of JSR. His name is Sasha. Sasha, congratulations on becoming the new JSR champion. You have thoroughly deserved it, taken so many victories. I think it's 7 or 8 victories you've taken this season, and also taken the most out of any of it as well. And you've still got 4 races left to go as well after this one. So how does it feel to wrap up the championship now and have no pressure towards the end of the season? You could just chill out, rest, and continue what you've been doing. Talk us through how it feels, mate.
It feels good, amazing. Yeah, just no words for it. I didn't expect to be in the fight for the championship because I didn't like the handling, the car, the chassis at all. Yeah, just amazing. We took the most podiums out of anyone this season, the most wins out of anyone ever. Yeah, just it's crazy, man. And with 4 races to go as well, it's goosebumps.
You haven't exactly walking away. You haven't exactly dominated every single race because you still become under massive pressure from every single person that's been around you as well. You had multiple challenges as well. But talk us through, like, how did you manage to sustain the pressure? How you managed to know when to attack people, defend from people, use the battery wisely too. Talk us through, like, how you managed to do it this season.
Yeah, well, to be fair, it's most of the part was the battery, of course. It's just know how to manage your battery, and I think, yeah, of course, that's the reason why most people are in front. The battery is just, yeah, battery is key, and I think I'm one of the best battery management. I have the best battery management out of anyone this season.
You did indeed. And did you make a mistake because you were well ahead of Miles Marquez by 2 seconds? Did you make a mistake somewhere because Miles Marquez was right in the back of your tail again?
No, it was just me pushing to get away from Miles. But because it's really hard to load your battery up again on Australia because of the many straights, I was just on like 0 to 20% the whole lap. And I think Mel's managed his battery better than I did, which gave him the advantage on me to get that time back.
And talk us through as well, what has been your most favourite part of the season? What do you think has been your most challenging race up to yet?
Yeah, well, I kind of liked Hungary, actually, the race we just had now. From the midfield, had some nice battles with Geitkaas, Ryan, and some other people. It was just good racing overall. Also because of battery management, which isn't really a thing on Hungary. You can easily load up your battery, so racing became a bit more natural. yeah, that was just that was a really fun race. I really enjoyed that one.
I was about to ask as well. I couldn't exactly remember. My memory's so bad, yeah. I was thinking, when did we have a race in Hungary? It was last race. I couldn't believe it, mate. But yeah, I was trying to think back. It's like, when did we have a race in Hungary? Then we just have
Yeah.
yeah. Mate, what's your expectations now going to the next four races? You're gonna continue doing the same thing because obviously you still want to extend your wins tally this season.
Well, of course, I'm just gonna try my absolute best to get more good results out of it. I think that's just pretty much it. I don't have a lot of expectations anymore because the bucket list has been completed for this season. So we're just gonna have some fun the last 4 races, but we're still gonna try our absolute best.
And tell us as well, what have you changed from the last game transitioning to this game as well? Because you were a driver who was trying to pick up podiums, but you didn't get there. Well, you got some podiums last season, but it hasn't always been easy for you as well. So tell us what's happened from last season to this season.
Well, pace improvement first of all. I think my pace has massively improved since last game, and I think also a bit of composure, which I didn't really have last game. When I could go for a move, I went for a move if it was a dumb place or not, which is just not very smart. And I think this game that has been a lot better for me. You know, just think about when you go for a move, if it is the right place. Maybe it's not, maybe it is. That pretty much helped me a lot for this year.
Well, congratulations, mate. And how do you feel for the next race at your home Grand Prix in Zandvoort?
Yeah, well, it's also always nice to drive on Zandvoort. It's such a cool circuit. Yeah, battery. I don't know how battery is on Zandvoort. But I hope to have some nice battles, you know, just have some side-by-side action in the dunes, and hope we can get a good result again.
Yep, well, congratulations. Gefeliciteerd on winning the championship, mate, here in the JSR. You fully deserve it, and I can't wait to see what you do in the next coming races, mate. Well done. Goed gedaan vandaag.
Dankjewel, vriend.
Geen probleem. Right, moving on to the man that finished in P3. Miles Marquez, mate, you were super, super close, but I think the battle with Venjoke is what pretty much put you in a peculiar situation. And once again, Venjoke, the coster of your race, because Venjoke and you made contact in turn 2, and ultimately you spun around. And here in Australia, down at turn 11, he was once the causer of you not winning the Grand Prix potentially. How frustrating do you... first of all, are you happy because your pace is much, much better? We know you express your concerns on this game and how much you were struggling, but in terms of Hungary and Australia, your pace has definitely been better. So do you think that if you practice and race more, you could definitely be towards the top end of the field like you were today?
Yeah, my pace was good, but the results, it's okay. But yeah, with Stefan in the last round, yeah, he turned in the middle of the corner, so, and yeah, I spinned, so I can finish P2 at Australia, but P3, yeah, it's podium, so it's okay. But yeah, the pace was good. It was not bad. It was good.
So we saw recently as well, you posted a video how much you were struggling on this game. What do you think has changed from then to now? Are you being more patient? Are you practicing more? You get more advice? What do you think has What do you think has changed massively?
I think the battery. Yeah, first of all, the battery was in the beginning. It was not nice for me, the battery, but I improved with the battery, and now, yeah, it's slowly getting better with the battery management. So maybe in around in a month or 2 months, I'm so much improved to fight for the wins. Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
No worries, mate, and hopefully you will be back up there, because when you are quick, you are a good contender, and you definitely put on some good performances as well in battles. So it'll be interesting to see what you could do in the next upcoming races.
Yes.
And how do you think you would do at the Dutch Grand Prix, your home Grand Prix too?
I had last week a league race at Sanford, and I liked it with
DSR?
battery. It's okay. No, it was GLR with from Dani the Master or something, and yeah, it was nice. So unlucky with unlucky too with some people's, but yeah, I have there good pace, so I think I can fight for the win there.
Wow, dankjewel, Miles Marquez. En goed gedaan vandaag.
Dankjewel, Jamie.
Geen probleem. That is it then for the Hungarian and Australian Grand Prix. Both tracks delivered with a late safety car for both ends as well. And it definitely was an explosive event for the last few laps of the Grand Prix. And hopefully at the Dutch GP, we'll see some more great racing action. And the Dutch GP, of course, was 2 days ago on Sunday when the home favourite of Max Verstappen crashed out in the final corner. It was a massive shame, and unfortunately for the Dutch fans, the atmosphere is absolutely electric there as well. It's a great atmosphere, I could see, and the Dutch GP has been removed from the calendar for the next upcoming races. So yeah, the Dutch GP unfortunately no longer with us. But yeah, it was Norris who won ahead of Antonelli and Russell towards the end, with both Ferrari drivers messing up their races as well for good measure, as they usually do. But it is the Dutch GP. Join us back for JSR next week at the same time, 7 p.m. UK time, 8 p.m. UK Dutch time. Sorry. We'll see you all later. Ik spreek je later. Tot ziens. Doei.